Samples from the bodies of victims, according to Secretary of State John Kerry, give U.S. officials the evidence they need.
It has tested positive for signatures of sarin.
But what are those signatures? How can we be sure this isn't a repeat of the slam dunk that wasn't, the claim that Iraq had WMD? Former Chief UN Weapons Inspector David Kay, who's previously looked for these traces in Iraq, says a signature of sarin is not something you can see or smell.
Think of how any other chemical that you're familiar with around the house or food substance will break down into other things. So you're not looking for smell or discoloration.
Kay says that unlike mustard gas, sarin does not burn your skin. The victims who die from it, he says, die because when it's breathed in, it shuts down your nerves. Then you suffocate. Experts say to find out if that's happened, to find that signature, you take blood, hair, brain tissue, clothing samples. Then a portable version of this, a gas chromatography machine, will give you spikes indicating that sarin was used. But there's another key question about signatures of sarin. How reliable are those samples? How reliable are these tests?
If you were going to get a single sample or say half a dozen of samples, I think most of us would be concerned because you're concerned about how they were collected and all. And that's why the inspectors were so careful to take multiple samples from places.
Kay says nothing is 100% in these situations, but if the UN inspectors took enough samples and if they controlled them well enough, the reliability should be high. A UN official we contacted wouldn't say how many samples they took or talk about methods. What we do know, many of these victims never had a chance. Sarin specifically, yes. What happens to you if you don't have one of these?
If you don't have one of those, you're very much out of luck because literally within minutes, your body will begin to shut down. It's not just the types of things that you've seen on these videos with the twitching and the convulsing and the difficulty seeing things and foaming at the mouth. Your body will short circuit. You'll die within minutes.
Could there be false positives in the testing of those victims? David Kay says not if you do the testing well enough. He says it's more likely you'll get inconclusive results in a given sample if the traces are minute or if there are no traces at all. And that would be because of the shelling of that area the Syrian forces did after the chemical attack. Wolf.